Hey y'all, let's make some shrimp pasta today. So there's this viral lobster pasta going around on TikTok, and I am not trying to make that at all, but it is an idea. This was inspired by that recipe because you can get all the things at Trader Joe's, and there's a Trader Joe's in Springfield about 45 minutes from here, but I didn't have time to go get anything, so I thought, well, I'll just grab some stuff and try to make something similar to it. All right, so I'm gonna use thin spaghetti. You can use whatever kind of pasta that you want, but I'm gonna use this. Just cook it as directed. I do make my water very, very salty when I cook it. And then I got 2 bags of these medium shrimp. They have the tails on them. I'm gonna go ahead and put those into a colander, and then I'm gonna rinse them with cold water, and I'm gonna peel all the tails off. So I'm gonna put those over in the sink, let those thaw out a little bit. And then I'm gonna chop up an onion and some fresh parsley. This is just a little Vidalia onion, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and use the whole thing because it's not that big. So I'm just gonna give that a good chop. Crying a little bit because of the onions, but I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these off, and I'm gonna slice up a whole container of these little cherub sweet tomatoes. All right, just gonna slice these right in half, just like that. There we go. I'm gonna chop up a little bit of parsley, good handful of it. There we go. We've got our water boiling for our pasta. Rinse off with some cold water, and then I'm gonna peel all the tails off. And this is what I got. Now I'm gonna just chop this shrimp up, not too tiny, just kind of make some little chunks out of it, okay? In there. Now we're gonna put our sauce together, and this is where it all went south yesterday. I guess there's just a hidden code that you know that this stuff is spicy, because people were like, I was looking at your video going, no, that's spicy. Okay, where does that say that it's spicy? It says lemon. Thinking, oh, that'll make it taste kind of like shrimp and seafoody. Right here on the back at the very bottom, there's a little tiny pepper right there. Okay, we're gonna start off with some olive oil. I'm gonna do about a half a cup of olive oil, and I'm also going to do about a half a stick of butter. So I'm gonna pop that in there, and then we're gonna get this good and hot. Now we're gonna add our onion into our oil and butter mixture here, and we're gonna get those good and browned up. Also gonna add a couple of teaspoons of this roasted garlic. Let's just do the rest of that. Polish that off. There's not very much in there. Let's do a good amount of salt, probably a good tablespoon of salt, and a good tablespoon of pepper. Coarse black pepper and kosher salt. A little more of that. All right, now I'm gonna do a little bit of Old Bay seasoning. Let's do about a tablespoon. And I'm gonna do some crushed red pepper. Not too much though. About a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now we're cooking. We're gonna get these good and sauteed. My water's ready for my pasta, so I'm putting it in. Not breaking it up, I'm just putting it in. All right, now we're gonna add our tomatoes. We're gonna cook these until they are nice and tender and the skins are almost falling off. All right, so this is how your tomatoes are gonna look. They're gonna look really mushy, just like that. And then I'm gonna put in a couple of tablespoons of flour, and then I'm just gonna make a little roux here with this flour and let it cook. Let this flour cook up for about a minute or two. Make sure your flour's good and cooked. Flour's just gonna thicken your sauce up. Now I'm gonna add a can of cream of shrimp soup. Mix that in really good. Gonna add my parsley now. And now we're gonna add some heavy cream. And I'm adding the whole quart of heavy cream. And then once we add that quart of heavy cream in there and then get it all good and mixed up, it should be just the right consistency. We're gonna put our shrimp in, and you're just gonna put this in and cook it just for a minute or two because your shrimp is already cooked. You just wanna get it good and hot in there with the sauce. You don't want it to be too rubbery. Now I'm gonna go drain my spaghetti. OMG, that looks so good. All right, spaghetti right here, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of sauce in there and just toss it around. I did not rinse my pasta this time because I got in trouble for that last time. Somebody got on to me. They said, don't ever, ever rinse your pasta. Well, sorry. It's always too starchy for me, so I always rinse that off. All right, here we go. Take two. Here. Oh, yes. A little bit of parsley, fresh parsley left over. I'm just gonna put that right on top there. Oh my goodness, that looks beautiful. This is delicious. That is so good. There's another idea for you if you want the spicy version. They tore it up upstairs. I forgot to tell you to put a little parmesan on top. A little fresh parmesan. That's gonna make it over the top. Oh yeah. Now it's perfect. Y'all need to go make this. It is so good.